Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. Thank you for joining us, episode 246. Brian, you know, it's like kind of funny when you go through the numbering system of a podcast, and it's like the first 50, oh, you gotta do something for it. Oh, 100, oh, that's cool, gotta do something for it. 200, oh, wow, crazy. And we're almost at 250, and it's like, who cares?
I feel like
Quarter of 1,000,
I feel like 300's big. I feel like, 500's big, and then 1,000, and then after 1,000, it's 10,000.
Right, yeah, obviously. Wait, if we do this for 10,000 episodes...
I was going to say, there's no... I mean, it would be one hell of a commitment, I'll say that.
Yeah, we'd have to be like Joe Rogan and blasting out like 5 a week.
Oh, my God, I know. Yeah, is he even up to... What's he up to, in the thousands?
Yeah, something like that. 1,300 or something? I don't fucking know.
Yeah. But Chambers, like you said, we should give a big shout out. Thank you to the boys from the Reset Button who came on. Great time. Trav and Tannen. Always a pleasure. We can't wait to talk with them on theirs in the future. Maybe.
Yep. When we hop on, I'll make sure that I'll be the Tannen of that episode. Daddy's going to come in hot. Let me tell him he was feeling good.
Only if you can pee in the middle.
Oh, I can pee in the middle, Brian. We know me.
But can you maintain such good composure while you're peeing? That's the real question.
No, I cannot. That boy was sleuthy about it.
No, it was great having them on. But Chambers, this is man, we were just back-to-back guests, just banging them out. But just you and me tonight, so here's a question. I know you still got a fridge full of beer from Christmas, so please don't tell me you're just, using some random bullshit tonight. Tell me you got something good in your hands.
Brian, actually, for no reason at all except to finally get the hell out of my fridge after... Oh, I think I've had this sitting in my various kitchens and 2 houses for about 4 years now, waiting for an opportunity, and I'm like, I keep waiting for opportunities, and I just forget about it. So tonight, I am drinking a good old big boy of Fagley's Brewworks Brewed Elf Reserve. Bourbon barrel, 1 pint, 9 ounces, good old 10.5% alcohol. A Christmas delight that I also think you might have given me like 4 or 5 years ago.
Pretty sure I did, yep.
And nothing written on there, so everyone out there gets off lucky. From good old Allentown, Pennsylvania, so... we reviewed this all the way back years and years ago on this show. Even did our one beer brawl about it. But, man. I mean, I don't know if it's the age or whatever, but the head, she dissipated quick, but this is a very dark amberish, brownish ale right here. I mean, it's almost like lighter at the top and heavier at the bottom. Like the bottom is just like straight, like dark brown at this point. Could be sedimentation, could be age, could be a lot of things, but...
I mean, when it sits that long, what it should be doing is eating away at the sugar. So while it should be sweet, it should be not as sweet.
It's still definitely really sweet, though.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine... It's been ages since I've had like a normal fresh root elf, so...
Were you hopping that in and out of fridges, or did you at least always keep it room temp?
It was always room temp.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't hopping out of warm and cold. It was out of the sun, all that.
There is a year on the bottle?
Yeah,
there isn't.
It should be.
I'm very curious.
I'm actually curious about that, too. Denied. No year. Anything stamped on the glass? Nope. Shit.
Oh, damn. I hate when they do. Like, that's one of those things I wish all beer companies would do.
Yeah.
Like, at least that's one thing I will say
my
about
laziness to be documented.
The cans. Yeah. Well, speaking of older beers, oh God. From the Industrial Arts Brewing Company, the Winter Landscape Lager. It's the Munich-style Dunkel. Now, I'm pretty sure I got this year, but looking at the packaging, it was packaged November 11th, 2021.
Yeah, because I think I was over your house one time and we had one of those. One of the last times we met up. And even then, it was like a year old. So I think year and a half now running on, at least. So,
yeah, it's two and change at this point. So let's see. A little bitter for a Dunkel, but not bad. I'll say for such a low alcohol content to be aged that long, it's held it pretty well. The head was actually once again that very big sea foamy bullshit. And Jim, we've been over this. What does Dunkel mean in German?
Double.
Nope.
Well,
Dark. Damn it, Jim.
Should be double. Sounds like it. I've only done this page for 10 years. Think I would have learned something by now. Look, Bri, I just drink the booze and drink away my brain cells. I don't really retain much these days.
Jim, the Doppel is... Damn it. Damn it.
Doppel, Dunkel, doesn't matter. Just drink it.
Jim.
But speaking of things I have learned, just so you people out there know, we didn't age these on purpose. We're just very lazy and forgetful. Yeah. There's no benefit to aging beers.
No, I still am waiting for that perfect opportunity. You know what, Jim? Maybe for the 250th episode, I'll finally crack open those aged 120 minutes I had when I got us back in the day.
That was like almost 8 years ago, I think.
Oh yeah, that was very early on when we cared about getting in line for beer.
Mm-hmm.
That died out real quick.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Don't do that.
But Chambers, I saw your tweet. So it sounds like you're on a little bit of a warpath to finish certain games. So what you been playing this past week?
I mean, it's just another time of getting through Bionic Commando. I just want, when I finally sit down to do my recording session, which will be this week, I just want to be good enough to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. Like, there's a way you can just keep, like, you don't have infinite continues, but you can keep getting continues pretty easily. So I don't want to have to do that 1,000 times to get through it. And, like, spend way more time on it than I need to. I just want to get it done. So we can get to review.
So you have already beat it, though?
Yeah, I've gone through it like 2 or 3 times already.
Okay. So do you feel like you've got it down, like, pretty packed? Like, you don't even need to look at a guide or figure out, like, the hopping from place to place? Like,
nah,
you know the pattern?
Nah, I don't need any of that. But, I mean, even then, like, at least there's a quick exit. So it's like, fuck, I have the wrong receiver. Then I can just get out. It's fine. I've played through it these couple times, and there's still one item I've never dumb-lucked my way into finding. So I'm going to have to look up that. I've beaten it without it, so I don't think I need it, but it's still just like, I wonder what this does. Wonder if this makes life any easier.
Okay. Now, has that been the only game you've been playing, or you futzing around with anything else?
Nah, it's been the only thing. I'm at the stage of setting up the game room where I'm like, all right, I got to get a couple more boxes out of the way, so I'm setting up consoles now. So I'm setting up the TV stand. So once that's done, then I can be comfortable enough to actually just start enjoying the game room instead of having to be a project. A never-ending project.
And then a flood happens.
Shut the fuck up.
Listen, it happened in mine, so, you know.
Shut your whore mouth.
Oh, Chambers. So, yeah, actually, this past week, it's driving me crazy with these fucking DOS games. So I beat Duke Nukem 2 Episode 1, but because they're released episodically, I have to try to find Episode 2. And apparently it's pretty goddamn hard. Duke 1 you can find everywhere. You can play online, you can play every episode. Duke 2, for some reason, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm trying to, like, see, like, I'll buy it at this point. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, just someone have it. Aside from what Z was recommending, which is getting an Evercade, I'm like,
do it.
I'm running out of options here, and
right, buy the Evercade.
Yeah, I will not
support the little guy.
But so right. I'm kind of
so many Jalico games, Brian. So many Jalico cards you can have.
Listen. There is a part of me that, like, if I could get a bundle for like $50 with some games, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I can't. So
it would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool. It's just something I know I never use. Like, I know, like, Rue has a couple of his games ported there, and they're like in color and stuff, like they're enhanced versions. So it's like, I'd like to play that, but it's like,
But yeah, let's be honest. How many games behind you have you still yet to open? You know, it's
Brian. I've opened all of them. What are you talking about? I've opened and played them all. I don't know what you're trying to imply.
But so
and I've had sex with many, many women as well. Why are you laughing so hard? I don't understand.
Chambers. But yeah, so I beat Duke 2. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out a way to do the other episodes. But I was at a party yesterday, and friends of ours were telling me all about Palworld. And I was like, huh, we just talked about that, how popular it is. And they were like, yeah, it's like Fortnite meets Minecraft meets Pokemon. Like, and I was like, okay. And the way they were describing it, they're like, it's actually more fun than it sounds. So I said, what the hell? I created an account last night, started it up. And like any good like game that sucks you in, it's like at first very menial tasks. Like, okay, build a base, get some resources, start beating the shit out, going over with a club and beating the shit out of these. They're not Pokemon, they're pals. And then throwing
very different world of different Nintendo and Game Freak.
It's not quite a sphere you're throwing at it. It's a little shape. It's a little shaped a little differently.
Is it an oval? Are you throwing ovals?
Basically. And yeah, so I haven't got to guns yet and all that crazy shit, but already I can see the appeal. And I said, you know what? As a game that I could sit back, fuck around with, that actually is a good stream game for me. Because like the thing is, when I set up with like DVD or whatever, like I can't even like look at chat and enjoy it as much because I have to focus. That's a very, I could just sit back and as I know we will get to, it depends how long it's going to stick around for. So might as well strike while we can and see how far I can get. So yeah, that's kind of been my go-to games the past week. But Chambers, you mentioned collecting and games and all this. I think Goodwills are actually starting to heal because the one near us had a whole slew of games now. And not just like sports. It had some Xbox 360, some PS4, had a random DS game. Just like a random mishmash of games. Some of them, and the one was like, what was it? It was like Forza and not Borderlands. Fuck. It's killing me, but it was like a combo pack of games that like I already had, so I'm like whatever. But just seeing games out on the shelves, I was like, huh, that's what this is like again. So,
right. I'll one up you. I was at one a little ways down, a couple miles from like where my old neighborhood was, and it actually had 2 NES games there, and I haven't seen an NES game at a Goodwill in
holy shit
years. Now they were both
God.
Wheel of Fortune games, and they were $6 each, so I didn't buy them. But I was still
unacceptable.
I don't need them, Brian. I'm trying to learn that I don't need them.
Jim, you need to be the guy who has the Wheel of Fortune collection, like that asshole who had the Duck Hunt and the other asshole who did the Wall Street Kid.
Yo, poor fucking Duck Hunt guy. So like that.
No,
his name's Chris. No,
nope.
Fuck you. Listen to me.
Fuck him.
Fuck you.
Nope.
The guy from goddamn Pink Gorilla out and what is it, Seattle, wherever the hell they are. He stole his gimmick and he put up a picture with like 200 some Mario Duck Hunts. I'm like, you uncreative fuck. Like with his own wall of that. Don't you clap. Don't you dare.
Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
You are applauding Palworld. You are into steel.
I don't even know who it is. I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't even know who that is.
I forgot the fuck his real name is, but
okay. No. That's the problem with such a stupid gimmick. Everyone could steal it. And now, if you're gonna go balls deep like the dude who bought,
and he cheated because he owns a video game store. That's not an accomplishment. It's not. There's no love put into that. It's bullshit.
But Jim, I also like how you're naturally assuming the guy who was originally doing it didn't maybe just find a bundle of them and buy a shit ton in one go.
I don't care. He was the first and he doesn't work in a video game store, so it counts.
He could have been like you if
you went for it.
Well, so here's the deal. If you're going to go gimmick, you go hard like the dude who had the Burger King games and had like 1,000 or 2,000 copies. Or
same thing. And then some other schmuck's going to goddamn do it. Rip off.
Well, I just saw that one.
Fucking Game Junkie's going to be like, oh, here's all my Sneak Kings. He'll be like, ah, you motherfucker.
Did you see the Wall Street Kid one?
No.
That was on Twitter. I thought I saw it because of you, but basically,
maybe I saw it. I don't remember.
Like it looked like he had a setup in his closet, like just stacks of them, and then he also had like a custom sign like that said Wall Street Kid, and then these other custom things. But in the center, he has this one, and everyone pointed out they're like, I really like the Pooh Brown one you have right in the center. So I'll put that picture up. But I was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. There's something about it I just don't get. But you know what, Jim? I'm slowly coming around to it. Slowly.
Brian, what's worse? Having a goofy collection of one game, possibly a meme game, or having a giant collection of games that you never touch?
That's a good question, Jim. What if you inflate the market, though, with your meme game?
Good strategy.
Now I'm against it, see? If you're doing it for the purest of intentions.
He's his own bull and bear, Brian.
But, Chambers, I said I'm proud of you. I know we've been saying it for a couple weeks, but now with you closing the gap, finishing off Bionic Commando, I can't wait to actually dive deep into the review with you, but that is our latest Patreon request. So what questions do we have this week?
Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. First up, from Spaghetti, what are some developers you all view as underrated? That's tough.
That's a really good question. See, I can go games, but for me, for a developer to be underrated, they would need to have still released like 3 or 4 bangers. Like, it can't just be a one-off that did great.
Because, like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess if you want to go, like, it's not AAA, but it's, like, AA developer quality. Like, Platinum Games, and I don't even like Platinum Games that much for the most part. Like, Brian, you would know him from, like, Bayonetta or Transformers Devastation Wonderful 101 and a bunch of other games like that. Like, they make some decent licensed games, and then they make just some crap. They just make, like, Wonderful 101 is hot dog shit. I don't know why that ever got ported to the modern day. But, or like a Turtles game that's, like, really divisive, Into the Shadows, I think. So, yeah, I mean, I've never loved Platinum Games, but I know a lot of people hold them in high regard, even though they have, like, one hit that'll keep their company alive for, like, 10 years. Like, it has to be, like, indie people that people just don't talk about. Like, I really like Bitmap Bureau, but the only problem with them is that I think all their games except for Xenocrisis are overpriced. But I buy them all, and I think they're all really good. But they're not that, like, indie darling that everyone talks about, though, that they should be. It's probably the price point keeping people away. But I think everything they put out is quality.
I hate to go back to old reliable.
You're just going to say it. Just say it, Brian. Just fucking say it.
Who am I going to say?
Puppet Combo.
Yeah, I mean, because you're bringing up a good point. I'm like, what's an indie developer? And honestly, the one I've gone back to is them and Jordan Black, who is one of the developers who's under the Torture Star publisher, which is run by Puppet Combo. His games, every single one of his games were complete bangers for me. Puppet Combo, I've done my reviews. I actually finished some scripts, and I'm going to be bringing back the finishing off the Puppet Combo reviews. I've been very fair, though. I don't rate their games, I would even say, that well. I enjoy them, but I'm honest about, this is probably one you don't need to play. But his games have been all, I think, just really well done. So under Torture Star, Jordan Black, I think he's someone to look out for if you like horror and you gotta love the old PS1 style, because all of his games are actually the ones recently that are being ported to PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and I don't know if it's coming out on the Switch. I'd have to check that, but I know it's on all the other consoles. So, yeah, one to definitely look out for.
Nice. And next up, from Burn Retinas, Game Shark is coming back as an AI assisted hint tool to be integrated into games called AI Shark in a world of wikis and Reddit threads. Is this missing its mark, or will it be helpful for some players?
Ooh. So it's an AI integrated into game. So, like,
integrated assist tool.
Yeah. So is it just going to be basically like an on-screen pop-up that's like a the equivalent to just looking at a guide online and it happens in game.
Yeah, I mean, like being AI, it's just going to pull metadata from, already established game guides and crap like that.
No, sure, but what I'm saying is when you activate it, does it actually interact with the game, like actually like create a pop-up?
I don't know. I gotta look into that, actually.
That would be, because that's something I would, I don't know how I feel about that. Because otherwise, really, what's the purpose, right? Like, if it's just going to be a thing that gets guides anyway, then just go and get guides. But if it's something that actually you download and it almost creates like an overlay on your system while you're playing, that could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, here's the deal. You and I have talked about it a lot. What is your go-to gut feeling for guides? And instead of just saying, I don't care completely, like, do you feel like how many hours should someone put in or effort should someone put into a game before they turn to a guide?
Like, here, I try not to use guides, but every once in a while, like, I get stumped. And it's either I turn off the game and never play it again, or I look up a guide just to get through the part. So if you're getting to the point where it's like, all right, I'm about to quit this game, then look at a guide. Fuck it. Like, I mean, and like, give it a try. But if you're on like your 50th fail, I think at that point it's pretty safe to say you're allowed to look at a goddamn guide.
See, I'm actually very forgiving for guides on more like open. Like if somebody were like, I need a guide for
10 tries. I don't fucking care.
Like the only time I would disagree is something like Cuphead. There's no like you're not figuring it out. It literally is just your reflexes have to be better.
Yeah.
Like, even like Fury was a good example of that. Like, I never felt the need to look up a guide even though I was getting frustrated. I was just like, I know I just need to hit the thing.
Right.
But, like, Breath of the Wild or something like that where there's just so much shit that you can do, I almost, like, encourage, like, you probably should be looking at, like, one of the things I love is all the articles of, like, 10 useful hints before you start da-da-da-da-da. And usually they're not spoilers of any kind. It's like, yeah, I know you're going to want to go this way. Like, maybe don't. Like, actually stay to the tutorial or something like that. So I'm all for those guides. I think an AI shark, though. Ooh, that's
That sounds like something that like I would use once, and then I get annoyed with it because it would just be pop-ups all over the fucking screen. And I'm like, all right, just go away. Like, I'd rather just look it up on the side and not have my view impeded either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how they integrate it in. Could be interesting, could be a mess, but of all the things to bring back, some version of Game Shark was not what I was expecting to hear.
Yeah, it's weird with Game Shark because like I think that was more our childhood our young teens and late childhood, early teens, that kind of thing for 5th and 6th gen on. And it's no one talks about the way people talk about Game Genie, like at all.
Exactly.
We're at that point we're all just like, yeah, it's a thing, but it was also early internet, so everyone's looking up game facts and crap like that. So it was kind of there, kind of not. Weird. It was in a weird place.
It's funny because when you use certain emulators, you can still like put in Game Shark or all the codes for like whatever the hell NES and Super NES used.
Right.
Like, so seeing those long codes, I can distinctly remember having sheets of papers with those codes printed out or handwritten. And if you didn't write it perfectly or you lost that sheet, it was devastating. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. No, that's a good thing though. Who put it? Burned Retinas?
Yep.
Yeah. No, good question. I would definitely, like Jim, I would try it out.
Yeah, I'd give it a go. I don't know how long I last with it, but I'd give it a go. Like most things, I'll try, but I won't last long.
With all the sex you had.
With many beautiful women. So many.
Oh, Jim, you son of a bitch.
But that wraps up the questions for this week. So once again, thank you to everyone out there for the support over there. Speaking of patrons, everyone in the $5 tier and up, tomorrow we will be recording another Bonus Beers bonus episode with good old nerdy Nick. So by the time this episode's out, we'll have recorded it. So yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Stick around for that.
Hell yeah. So Chambers, I wanted to give an update as well. So as the time of us recording this, we now have new shirts available in our merch store. and it's something we've been working on with our buddy Optic. He did them. I'll have the pictures up here, as you can see. You can decide the classic console war. Do you like Super NES? Do you like Genesis?
Right.
Or do you want to get on both?
You stupid whore. The 16-bit console versions. One from the black console, one from the purple. Definitely not anything that is established. You stupid fuck.
But yeah.
So little peek behind the curtain. So Brian's like, yeah, how do you think these look? I'm like, yeah, they're good, but we gotta take these goddamn logos off here. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, a little thing called copyright. Probably can't be selling anything with that directly on there.
I still say meh. Listen, Jim, that's for channels that are big. That's not for us.
We're finally gonna have that one hit video. Then all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh. That's what these NDA things are. Well, not NDA. What the fuck? The thing when they tell you to stop doing the fucking shitty thing you're doing.
Cease and desist?
Yes, that's it.
Don't worry, Jim. We will have made our $17 by then and rolling in the riches.
That's goddamn right. And speaking of riches, this episode of the Paid Per Hour Podcast is brought to you by Skillshare. Do you want to learn a skill? Do you want to just learn a little history, learn an instrument, get a little help on something, give you an edge? Head over to Skillshare and use our code DBPG30 for 30% off your first year of any class you want.
Yeah. Be sure to check it out. I actually been looking at it. I might become an expert in a few things, Jim. I can't tell you right now.
Well, Brian, you're already a bullshit artist.
I got nothing.
Might as well add to it. Yes, once again, thank you to everyone out there for all the support. If you're on iTunes, Spotify, or Apple, or YouTube, whatever the fuck we're on at this point. It's only been almost 250 episodes. Think I'd care. But, yes, head on over to all of them. Give them some follows. Give them some comments. Give some likes. Anything you can do helps out the show.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We truly, truly appreciate it. Ah, Chambers. You know, this might have to be called the depressing episode in the gaming world.
So many follow-ups. So many depressing, awful follow-ups, Brian.
They're just so bad. So the first one is, it's sad. I even though we've talked shit about said company and things that were very obvious and everyone knew was coming, Nintendo finally announced as of April 8th, online play and other functionality for the 3DS and Wii U is going bye-byes. So this has been kind of a long time coming, I feel like. And I know there's been speculation. They've been pulling things left and right. Now, they did state that until March 11th, you can still merge all of your unused Nintendo eShop balance to your Nintendo account, which, you know what? Kudos, Nintendo. That's more than I thought you would ever do. And, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of upset people, Chambers. I would actually imagine it's more upset for the 3DS.
You know what? Weirdly enough, like, people were upset, but I think people are just starting to get used to it at this point, especially since all the eShops have closed and stuff like that. Again, with, like, the Wii U, it's like, man, who's really playing the Wii U anymore? Especially the online games. Like, it's really just Splatoon and Mario Maker, and I actually think Mario Maker servers have been down for a couple years now at this point, so there's not a lot left on there. Yeah, the 3DS probably a little bit more. Like, I know people love their Street Pass. I don't know about the multiplayer gaming aspect of it that much. Maybe Animal Crossing, but besides that, So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's time, really.
All good things come to an end. I mean, it's crazy to me, though. I from a business standpoint, I get it. But it's amazing to me that you look at, like, I can still go on the original 360 and play World at War. Or World, you know, like, so.
Fuck that. You can play Modern 2 on there. Or not Modern 2, COD 2 on there.
Yeah, well, that's my point. Like, so what is it really cost to keep this shit going?
A system from 2005. That's fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what is the oldest system that still has that support. Like, I wonder if you, like, put a line into your Dreamcast, if it would still have servers.
No. I mean, you can do, like, private peer-to-peer servers, but, like, all the legitimate ones have been down for years.
Been down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the 360 and PS3 are probably the oldest ones. Like, Wii's down, DS is down. And, I mean, yes, I mean, shut up, PC people. I get it. But
Yeah, that doesn't count.
But yeah, for a home console, I guess the 360 is the oldest at this point.
Jim, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love for us to just maybe like once a month, just try to find an old game from there and see how many people are on the server and just play. And
that would be interesting.
I did that a few years ago with all the CODs when I was going through and beating all the CODs. What part of me beating all the CODs were, let me see if anyone's still on the server. And I remember like it was like 7 people on like COD 2. And I have the footage, and I still love watching the footage because, I was sniping the dig off these guys. And like, it's that same asshole from the other game. I'm like, there's 7 of us, of course. Like, what do you think's gonna happen?
I love that image that went around like 2 or 3 years ago of like the 10 people that were still playing Black Ops 2 on the Wii U that were still around doing that. But yeah, I mean, when I had that story when I was doing the footage recording for Resident Evil 6, and I'm playing, and all of a sudden someone just hopped into my game. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought people didn't even like this goddamn game. And, you know, we're talking how many years after release? And yeah, people are still playing that.
All right, Jim, we're doing it. We got to do it. We're committing once a month. We're going to check out, what are we calling it? Dead servers?
Dead server test? I don't know. We'll workshop it. People, comments below. Give us your name for whatever this bit's going to be.
So, for you guys out there, though, if there was any big fans still...
Dead server roll call.
There you go. I like it. So, if you were a 3DS or Wii U and it's going away and you're going to miss it, I do feel sorry for you. I'm giving you my condolences.
I would love to try on my 3DS if it wasn't fucking stolen! I'm not bitter.
No, not at all, Jim.
I'm handling it well.
Chambers. So, let's move it right along. So, I mentioned Palworld earlier, and it's safe to say, if Palworld does not get sued out the ass by Nintendo and Pokemon, is there any chance that has to make Game of the Year? The fact of just how massive it's been in 5 days of being released.
Yeah, we're at like what, a week and a half now, and it's sold like 8 or 9 million copies, like something absolutely ridiculous.
It's so crazy.
Now, I mean, obviously, sales don't guarantee Game of the Year because fucking Hogwarts sold 22 million copies, and that didn't get any awards. Granted, all the controversy, but you know. But yeah, but Bri, this massive success does not come without its share of attention. And of course, the Pokemon Company had to finally issue a statement. So this comes to us 24th, so 5 days ago from this recording. And thank God someone translated it, because it's in that gibberish moon language of theirs. And it says, "We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on the IP rights related to the Pokemon."
So it's funny. We talked about them getting death threats and the crazy messages they were getting from the nerd-ass fans. But I was watching this one guy, and he was talking about it. Don't know if it's true, but I know he was very big. Like I forget if his dad created Blizzard or something. But he was saying, he's like,
Fred Blizzard?
In Japan, there is no such thing as fair use, which is part of the reason why, like, Nintendo especially is so litigious, and they tend to go after everything like that. And he was even saying, he's like, if you don't think they know about this, and if they could have done something, they would have already, because it wouldn't get probably international news like when they go after things in the States, because they're both Japan based. He said, so they'd actually handle it at like a locality thing. He said, but the reality is, knowing the numbers that it's already made, Nintendo would have already shut this shit down. He said, so the chances are there's probably just, even though, yes, it's very similar, what they'll probably be going after are all the mods that convert it to actually Pokemon. He said that's something Nintendo would probably actually hit up.
Oh,
the game itself,
which they have every right to in that case.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I guess Unless they...
some of the models are very, very similar, but you know what? As long as it's not the same.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I don't know. I didn't realize they didn't have fair use in Japan, but I don't know what intellectual property, like how different
but this
can it be?
This isn't fair use though, because fair use is when you're like, say, commenting or
Oh
talking
no,
about
I
another
know.
thing.
I'm saying though, the fact that they are so friggin' litigious that maybe there is gray area that if you change something by like 5%, 10%, it's enough of a change that it's not intellectual property. And I am curious, like, does Nintendo have a patent or something on a game where you capture animals with balls? Like, I don't know, like, if the mechanics down to that level are actually captured or if it's just the actual models themselves. I don't know.
Like if they went as crazy as Nintendo did during Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. And they were like, physics of glove making thing, like something like that.
And then they put in actual just basic ass physics equations. Like, you can't copyright physics. God damn it.
F equals MA, owned by Nintendo.
Jim would be like, no.
No, now I'm a college failure.
So yeah, I mean, what's your guess, Jim? Do you think anything comes out of this?
Like, I've seen, because I know, like, some of the autists on Twitter did, like, ridiculously long threads comparing Pokemon models to things in the game. And a lot of them I'm just like, I mean, they're both penguins, like, for the most part. Now, there's a couple that are, like, very, very close. But it like, it's barely a color swap from, like, a Mew or something like that. But and that's for the courts to decide. But I'm kind of, that makes a very good point that if Pokemon really thought it was, this much of a copyright thing, because the gameplay loop is completely different. So, like, it's not, a capture RPG. It's a capture looter shooter, basically, or whatever. So, maybe there's enough of an argument there. Maybe you can go after some of the assets. I don't know. That's for a law to decide. But, yeah, you know what? It makes sense, because Nintendo being Nintendo... maybe they just put out that statement so people stop tagging them 10,000 times a day, going, Pokemon, why are you letting this happen? Pokemon, why are you letting this happen? Like, maybe they're even being like, all right, shut up, nerds. We'll say something. Yeah. We're looking into it. It's like when WWE was looking into Vince McMahon. They're like, oh, yeah, we're looking into this. Yeah, we got this. So. And next thing you know, fucking Pikachu poops on your head.
God damn it, Jim. Well, I'm going to... I want to play devil's advocate, but yeah, I feel like if they were going to do something, they would have probably done it already. So, I don't know. I hope they don't, just for my personal benefit, so I can keep playing it, but we'll see. We'll see what comes out of it.
I wonder if they're so cocky. They're like, you know what, this is the meme game, but it'll die out soon enough. It's not a threat.
So, Chambers. So, I guess that wasn't really the sad news. I guess really now starts the real bum out bullshit.
Well, but, everyone get your booze and your drugs, because we're getting dark.
Yeah, so chances are if you're listening, you heard as of a couple days ago, actually January 25th, this article came out from The Verge, but it's been blasted everywhere. Microsoft laid off approximately 1,900 Activision and Blizzard and Xbox employees, and a big part of this is they're ditching the physical media. And they're...
Well, it's a little bit of both. They're just downsizing in general, and then that'll be the next article we get to, Brian. Xbox was really the bad guy this past week, to put it lightly. They cut out about 8% of their overall gaming division, which was 22,000 employees in total. And even to the fact that the fucking president of Blizzard stepped down. So I know today they just announced some new guy, John Dickfuck, who cares? But, I mean, it's just going to be like a name. It's still owned by the parent company, so it doesn't even matter who the president of Activision Blizzard is now.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Ooh.
And also people were like mad that they canceled this survival game that Blizzard's been working on, but it's like a game they've been working on for 6 years that you've heard nothing about. So it's probably kind of just a dead project anyway, and Microsoft just went, all right, guys, enough of this. Like, they probably looked at it and went, how far along is this? All right, just cancel this shit. I guess for me to be devil's advocate there.
Well, I guess. Well, here's the deal. 22,000 is a giant goddamn number. How many people do you think work globally across like
I
everything
mean,
Microsoft has?
that would be the globally part will be more Activision Blizzard because as we know, Microsoft did not get any foothold really internationally that much, especially in Japan. But like they were okay in Europe, but for the most part, they're very North America centric. So yeah, it could have been
Okay.
it could have been a lot of international people working for Activision. Unfortunately, this kind of hits close to home for the page because our good buddy Blade Blur was one of the people. Like he worked for Toys for Bob, which was a subsidiary making the Crash Bandicoot games for Activision. He got
Yeah.
laid off, and it just came out of nowhere. So like this shit sucks. And this is the thing that sucks about acquisitions because eventually they look through and they go, all right, we don't need this many people because we already have this. It's a shitty reality of the business like that. Like I know we were championing like kind of championing. We went. It makes sense for the acquisition, but sometimes you kind of forget about the collateral damage that can happen after it when these go through too. It sucks. Like 2,000 people losing their job instantly sucks.
Oh, dude, and I think the problem is, as you said, the unexpected nature. All of these people that get laid off, it's not like you get any kind of warning. You just all find out the same day, and it really blows. But I think the other part of this is there's this belief that like Microsoft is going completely the way of getting rid of physical media, which is not the case. Excuse me, but we talked about last time, which is a lot of these companies, they just see a digital future. When we talked with Blade, is it Alan Wake 2 that still doesn't have a physical release?
Yes, Alan Wake 2, for all the hype it got, never got a physical release. Hellblade 2, the game you're really looking forward to, that's
Yep.
already confirmed not going to have a physical release.
And in it's the real topic that it's not one of those people are just making a big deal. It's going to be more and more. Soon it'll be a 50-50 split, I think, between physical releases and all digital. And then I think at some point you might be like in the rarity if you're actually still physical releasing. Imagine triple A's will, and maybe the niche indies that still want to preserve that. But it's going to go by the wayside. If you're an indie developer and you can still hop on Game Pass or PlayStation and get your game out there, you'll sacrifice doing physical just so more people can play it.
Yeah, and I mean, like they are outsourcing their physical releases, but it's not a priority for the company anymore, for the parent of Microsoft. So there'll still be games coming out, but yeah, it's really what the seeds were planted with Game Pass how many years ago. And all these companies saw what CDs or music and movies have done with streaming services and not owning stuff and being able to control what you can play when. And it makes more money to just put on a server for people to rent and pay a fee for than all this crap. So it's a weird time. Gaming's seemingly basically catching up to all the other media at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, so Microsoft definitely were the bad guys of last week in so many goddamn ways. Actually, if you want to, speaking of Blade Blur, if you want to help him out, links will be below to his YouTube and Twitch. Throw the guy a bone. Give him a little heads up. Give him some follows over there. He's a good dude, as you know.
yeah, no, give him some love. He needs it. He deserves it. So give him a shout out. All right, so Chambers, speaking of this digital future, what is Sony saying about their future now?
Ryan, Sony's future is on PC.
Woo.
So, yeah, this was actually a couple days ago as well. So Sony is in a special spot with the PS5 in the gaming business. It is continuing to have massive sales since its release in 2020. And they are working towards keeping its hold on the top spot in the game industry for the future. So in an interview with the Sony CEO, Kenichiro Yoshida, maybe I didn't butcher that completely, he said it will be ubiquitous. Wherever there is computing, users will be able to play their favorite games seamlessly. Why PlayStation will remain our core product is we will expand our gaming experiences to PC, mobile, and cloud. So we've been seeing this for the past couple years where after a while, they will bring their games to the PC. But yeah, he's saying people usually play one game at a time, so you can eat type of many games may not be so valuable compared with video streaming services. So we'll have a kind of balanced or hybrid service on the PlayStation Network, a subscription as well as pay per content. So yeah, they're going to make fucking Game Pass. They're going to make their own Game Pass and put it everywhere and compete. That's what it is.
I mean, now, do you think...
here's the thing. If they make their own Game Pass, that could kind of easily kill Microsoft Game Pass just because there's just so many more goddamn PS5s out there, too. So if you put the Sony exclusives on their own Game Pass service, like, Microsoft doesn't have exclusives.
Yeah, but if they eventually start lining up those Call of Duties and the exclusivities with that, even like bonus content that's exclusive, maybe not.
That'll keep it afloat. Yeah, if you make it the casual place to go to for the big games, like they would have to almost buy fucking EA at that point and make that the place to be to really compete.
Yeah. I mean,
I think I'll get shot down at that point. They'd be like, okay, now we're really, truly hitting monopoly levels here. But
yeah, listen, I said PlayStation. I didn't fully hate its service, but it didn't compete with Game Pass. And yeah, if it can,
no, not at all.
If it can do that and they do it well, now I will say. PlayStation's had a little bit of a bumpy go with any of their services, with the hacks and the this and the that, compared to Xbox.
Know all about that, don't I? In 2011, when I was in Disney, sure fucking do.
You get your stuff stolen. You get hacked.
Life, every day is a blessing, Brian.
Now, would this pull you into the Sony fold a little more, Jim, if that was available?
Yeah. I mean, one, it'll need to put a shitload of their older catalog on there for me to really care, and two, like all of our multiplayer friends are still Xbox people, so I'd have to have Game Pass still, no matter what.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe I would actually play more PlayStation with a subscription service. Instead of being like, am I really going to spend $60 in a game I might not ever get to anytime soon? I don't know. It's tough to say. Then again, I had Game Pass and I almost never use that. But I also have an old system, so I'm not getting my value out of it anymore either. So
time to upgrade, Jim. Buy all the systems.
No, I got too much shit. Fuck.
Just sell all your CDI shit.
No, I'm just going to steal it from the Patreon. Go to the page.
Jim, you don't need the old CDI because now we have new spiritual successor controllers.
Oh, these fucks. Right, we are bringing back the weird gaming items. Who could think of a weirder gaming item, Brian, than bringing back... Okay, it's not the worst CDI controller, but it's like the second worst CDI controller. And that's goddamn saying something.
And where is it coming from, Jim?
Right, our good buddies, Limited Run Games. So they're releasing a game called Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore, which is, they're making it like a spiritual successor to Zelda's CDI games, which
why
we've reached that level. We've just reached that level where like people are being nostalgic for memes.
Like, and you look at it.
Take it from us. We played one of them. It's fucking dog shit. The memery does not justify playing a game like that.
No, it's not meme like funny. Like, here's the deal. A meme game's funny if you can like easily access it. It's free. Everyone has it. You have to go out of your way to do the CDI games, and having Jim as a friend and playing it on his, it's like there's no redeeming quality at all to that game. It's not even funny how bad it is. It's just bad.
And like when we're playing it on my actual CDI, I have an adapter to use Super NES controllers on the CDI. I'm not using the dog shit controllers the CDI had. Why are you making... No one had a CDI. Why are you making a throwback controller for the full CDI experience, especially with one of the worst controllers? And Bri, do you want to know why I'm more mad about it?
Because you want it?
Because it doesn't work on an actual CDI. There's no fucking adapter for it. It's just USB. Mr. Physical Forever. Oh, Mr. Game Preservation, limited run games. Where's the fucking preservation for us lowly CDI owners over here? What the fuck?
Jim.
I'm not saying they have to make a version because no one will buy it except for like me and 3 other people. I get that. But maybe a little dongle you can do. Maybe a little adapter dongle you can do. Fuck.
Jim, stop acting like you would get it and use it.
I would use it once, possibly for a video for the meme, and then never touch it again. I know what I am, Brian. I'm not saying I would. Would it be a complete waste of money? Sure as goddamn hell would. But you know what? I'd get something out of it. A USB CDI controller does nothing. No one will ever use that. They will buy it for the meme and keep it in the box. That's all they will do. No one will ever use that.
Here's the deal. I don't know what kind of numbers limited run does. They've admittedly, hey, they've got me with the Castlevania cool ass box collection. When they did the stupid 3D glasses and the squirt gun for Zombies Ate My Neighbors, cool idea. But like, who is going out of their way to play this? Like, I really want to know.
And this is the first time I've heard of this game. Like, there's been no... Brian, weirdly enough, there's been no hype for a Zelda CDI spiritual successor game. Who would have thunk?
So, the only thing I was trying to figure out is, how much is this?
I forget. I don't think they've put up the pre-order prices yet for things. Could be wrong as of this. I don't really care enough. I don't care. Too much, Brian. That's how much it's going to be.
It's on sale February 2nd. So yeah, I don't see the price right now. Jim, this is one I would promise you if you actually decide to get those controllers, I'd break it. I'd give you the cash. I don't care. I would just have to break it in front of you. I don't care. No. That's a bad Jimmy. No.
No. Bad. Just get the squirt gun out. Just bad. Stupid.
But you guys let us know in the comments. Is this something that entices you at all? And I also gotta say, I know it's a big thing. The gaming vinyls. Nobody needs a vinyl of RZ, the Jewel Faramore. You don't. I'm sorry. Maybe it's a fantastic little soundtrack, but you don't need it. I'm just saying it.
Yeah. Nah, no, you don't. Like, who are the sick fucks out there who are the people who bought the vinyls through Limited Run for Shredder's Revenge and stuff like that. Okay, people love their turtles. I get it. Fine. But for some game that no one's talking about anyway, what are you doing here? What are you doing? How much useless plastic do you need? I have useless plastic. How much do you fucking need?
Please, people.
Brian,
please.
I'm acting like the fat guy which I am, judging even fatter people right now. That's what I'm doing.
Jim, here's the deal. You know my feelings about Limited Run. I think you've thrown them too many shekels over the years.
True.
And please, people, don't buy this. Don't. That's my rant for it, Jim. Just don't buy it, people. And if you do,
right. I've got an order in for Jim. 3 controllers, Bri. One of every color.
If you do, send one in to Jim so I can break it over him. Ooh, that could be a good... That would be fun.
No, that would not be fun.
Yes. So if anyone wants to send it, the P.O. box is below. Have the explicit instructions for me to break it over Jim. I appreciate it.
Drink a Beer, Play a Game, P.O. Box 11537, Philadelphia, PA 19116.
I hate you, Jim.
Right? Not as much as I hate myself. Not possibly enough.
All right, Chambers. We wanted to go out on a good note, though, because we've brought back Which Is Better. And it's funny because I was in the process of gathering for this week, but we'll go with yours because I was going to continue down the Resident Evil themes.
We don't have to do it every week, Bri. Take little breaks.
Yep. So we got a little break this week. So Chambers, why don't you let people know what songs you chose, why you chose them, and then we'll dive into the songs.
Bri, the theme for this week for Which Is Better is good songs from bad games. So I tried to think of something. I went with main title themes, and tried to get with something somewhat similar, because it's tough when you go from one console to another and power and shit like that. So first up will be the main theme title from Arrow the Acrobat. And its competition this week going against the main title theme from Silver Surfer on the NES.
All right, so you just heard little snippets from both of these games, and you know, Jim, I like what you were doing here, picking these more obscure games that are definitely hated, but the soundtracks are pretty good. And you actually mentioned Arrow the Acrobat on your your 10 list, right?
Yeah, for the ones I discovered since starting the page.
So, see, me personally, the Arrow the Acrobat, the only issue I have with it is it just starts off as just that, I don't even know the actual name of it, but the circus song, I call it.
Yeah, I know it's kind of just like that generic circus theme, whatever it's called.
Yeah, and it does
Creative
get better.
Clowns or whatever the fuck it's called, I forget.
Yeah, it does get better as it goes on, but I don't know, man. That Silver Surfer theme, when it hits, and it like has a little bit more bass, and I think it sounds a little less grating than Arrow. I personally, I gotta go Silver Surfer theme. I respect both choices, but Silver Surfer, to me, it's cleaner, it's better, and it's just something that you can kind of, I think it's more palatable, whereas Arrow, you'd have to kind of be in the mood for.
Yeah, you know what? I can see that. And when I was putting these together, I was like, man, this Silver Surfer theme is fucking good. Like, the Fallon brothers, like, especially like Tim Fallon, I think he did it for Silver Surfer, like, their soundtracks always hit hard, and they always hit way better than any game they were on deserved to be. So they're like legendary game music producers. And it's tough for me because like I love that Arrow theme so much, especially when he just like starts shredding up and down the keyboard during it. Like that is such a shred happy clown song. It's so weird. It's up my alley because it's weird, it's different, but it's really well done for what it is. Even though somehow for the 8-bit console has a more like dynamic composition on it. It even sounds like more layered. So this is one where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to say the NES song, the Silver Surfer song is better, but I just have too much love for Stupid Arrow, so that's going to be my pick. I'm fully biased on this one.
Yeah, and that's part of what, especially when we're picking these, usually one of us are going to be picking something more biased, and what we want to hear is from you guys. I feel like with the Resident Evil ones, so far the responses we've seen have been what you would expect. This is, I feel, a little tougher. I feel like a lot of people may not know either theme, to be honest. So give them a full listen. We'll put the links below. I know the little 10 seconds you hear might not be enough. You let us know in the comments below. Which song do you like better? And then Chambers, I did see we got some new voicemails. It's been a goddamn minute.
It has been a hot minute, and me especially has done a bad job of showing the voicemail. If you want to leave a voicemail to the show, we will definitely listen to them. And the number 267-991-0156. So please, we love hearing these voicemails. It's been way too goddamn long. I mean, we set up the line for episode 200, going back to talking about these milestone dates. So, and actually, holy shit, it's almost been a year since that. Oh my god, what the fuck? Bri, life is going by too fast.
It really is, Chambers. All right, Chambers. So let's get started with the first voicemail.
Hey, dudes, this is Hulk Hogan, man, and I was just wondering, dude, sitting here pondering, dude, what do you guys think about games with multiple endings, dude? Like Chrono Trigger, man. I know Jim hanged and banged it, dude, with all 10 endings Shadow the Hedgehog, dude, but to hear you from wanting to play a game, dude, is that staggering, man? Is that too much, dude, or do you just like it simple, dude? Do you like an ebb and flow, man? Do you like it linear? Terry, what the fuck? You're making sense? What? Did you get to my fucking weed? Give me the phone, bro. Dude, give me the fucking...
Wait, is that where goddamn the Hulkster was? Goddamn Terry? He was doing all these little teases for the Royal Rumble. He lives in Florida. Guess who never showed up? Granted, the guy can't walk now. Bullshit. Yeah. I don't care. Would have been better than that Pat McAfee spot.
But he's also a savior of people, Jim. He's out there saving the real folks.
He is. I just love that he saved someone while wearing it. I love that he wears his NWO shirt all the time. And I love that he saved a life wearing his NWO shirt.
I mean, if that doesn't redeem the Hulkster, I don't know what will.
I mean...
Yeah, what can you say? Saving a life.
Look, he may have his opinions on who can date his daughter, but hey, have you saved a life? No, yeah, you haven't.
Until you do. but
Hogan redeemed.
So multiple endings. So I'll say something that I'm sure Jim will agree with. Here's the deal: multiple endings. I do like. However, if it's a game we are going to review, it makes it a little rough. Like, see, I like multiple endings because generally what I'll do is use Fallout, for example. Fallout has the perfect system of, like, there's a moment in the game where it says, hey, if you go any further, there's no turning back. So it kind of gives you that nice warning that if you want to have a save file right before, perfect. You save there, and then you can fuck around and see all the other endings, as opposed to replaying it. If it's a game where you have to start from the very beginning and go all the way through, that's painful. However, if you're somebody who wants to get the maximum value out of your game and have true replayability versus bullshit like high scores, higher difficulties, I think that is more appreciated. Like, I like the multiple endings because it does give you something to shoot for, and it gives you a real legitimate reason to actually play through all the way through. What about you, Chambers?
I'm with you. As long as it's not a requirement for something, I am perfectly fine with multiple endings. It's cool. It's a cool thing to shoot for. Like, you were going with Fallout. You know who was one of the games that, like, notoriously has some of the best system for multiple endings? Silent Hill 2. Because it just depends on how fast you beat the game or what things you do during the course of the game or how you play it. And it had, like, I don't know, I think like a dozen endings. And they were all vastly different from each other with vastly different styles. There was even that one famous meme ending where it was a little corgi controlling everything the whole time. Like goofy shit like that. Like, I love crap like that. But when you make it a fucking requirement to see the real ending of the goddamn game, you can go goddamn fuck yourself. That is just padding at that point, and I hate you. I hate you, Sonic. I hate you. I used to love you. Now I hate you.
I feel like the more common approach that we've seen in games has been the good ending, bad ending, and something in between, right?
Right.
So Sonic decided to really stretch out its value.
Sure it did. Hey, even going back to fucking Fury again, like, you had a good ending, you had a bad ending, and then you had a secret Easter egg ending that you dumbfucked your way into.
Oh, that would have, like, I did, yeah. I remember reading about it after. Had I done that, that would have been
oh my god,
so infuriating. Like, that's the thing. If you're a game, in this day and age, there is no excuse for games to not have saves as often as possible. Even if you want to be a dick and be like, fine, check marks, at least have it as a file that I can come back to and play that specific thing versus just restart the whole thing. So I'm all for it.
I kind of respect the dickery of it though too. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to do that again, are you, fuckface?
Yeah, but then at that point, it's like, do it on a game that's like 5 hours and not annoyingly hard.
Yeah, true. I mean, you got to feel for the people who took a shit break after finally beating a boss. And they come back and they just see credits and they're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks, Hulkster.
You owe me, Hulk. You owe me for that Rumble.
All right, let's see. Next one.
Well, that's a long yo, guys. Hey, man, it's Travis from Reset Button Podcast. Had a question sitting here thinking, what's the first games you guys heard a cuss word in? I don't know if you've ever covered that topic before. Ooh. I don't know why I was sitting here thinking, but honestly, for me, it was Barkley's Shut Up and Jam for Sega Genesis. I don't know why. I just remember if, like, your ball gets stolen, you know, Barkley's little And it was, it was a decent fucking soundbite, a Charles Barkley game. But it was like, he would say, "Who gets the damn ball?" And that's the first time I ever heard a cuss word in a game. It was Charles Barkley, shut up and jam, saying, "Go get said damn ball. Hey man, you guys keep doing what you do. You better follow through, or I'm gonna send Tan and Terry after you." Later, brothers. Raw dudes.
Thank you, Trav. Always
God, what a gruesome
appreciate it.
twosome that would be. Holy shit.
That's
a great question, and we've never covered that before either.
No. All right, so I think the one I can answer where could I have heard before it? Sure. I don't remember. Jim, did you ever play the original GTA 1 and 2, the top downs?
Yes.
Did they actually have voice lines? I think it was just screams and like guns and cars.
It was screams and guns, and the text would, depending on where you played it on, the voice was all garbled, but you would have like the actual text like written out.
Okay. So I would have went with that, but I don't remember it enough, and I'm not counting text. I'm counting strictly voice acted shit. So you know what? Honestly, the one that for me was WWF Warzone, where Stone Cold is like, "I'm gonna kick your ass," like basically hearing that was probably it. Because I was trying to think back in Resident Evil 1 or 2.
There's no cursing.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there maybe like a damn or a shit? And maybe not. So yeah, Warzone, it would have had to have been on the PlayStation for me. Sorry. I have to take it back. Duke Nukem 3D. Plenty of cursing in that game. And that was what, 93, 94? So
yeah.
I heard plenty of cursing in that. So yeah, that's probably mine right there.
Yeah, that's because I was I didn't have a PlayStation until my PlayStation 2, and I didn't have a really powerful computer, or I've never had a powerful computer, but I didn't have anything that could really play games until like 2000 either. So,
and nothing on Genesis.
Genesis, going back again to like Shadowrun, they had their in-game language.
Yeah.
So they would say like "slag off, frag face" and stuff like that. And it's like you kind of know what they're getting to, but it's not, true cursing and stuff like that. None of the other games on there that I owned back then would have had that. N64.
What about, did Beavis and Butthead, were they cursing in that?
There was a lot of voice in that game, but I don't remember them. Like, they would say "fart knocker" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if he would...
I don't think they said "damn" or anything like that. They never say anything worse than that. But maybe they would have said "hell" once, if that.
Okay. And by the way, I did look up. Duke Nukem 3D was 96. So...
Okay.
Little later than I thought, but it was January... Holy shit. It was January 29th. To the day.
Oh my God.
That's kind of freaky. Okay.
So, wait, 24 minus 9, 20, 24 and 4, 28. Happy 28th birthday, Duke Nukem 3D.
Damn it, Jim. I hate how you just did that math.
Right, my maths weren't mathing.
I love that question. Like, what about... I'm trying to think, like, maybe Road Rash, did that have actual curses, or was it just... It was all yells, right? Like, ugh.
Yeah, like actual voice. Yeah, you didn't hear anything with the voice. Like a little bit in text, but nothing too crazy there either.
Okay.
Like, I think for me, for an actual like voice acted cursing I heard, it would either have been like the opening scene of like StarCraft, maybe. I think they say "damn" or "hell" is like the Terrans are getting swarmed. But if not that, then definitely Grand Theft Auto 3 by that point.
Yeah.
Like GTA 3 is a guarantee. But I'll say maybe the opening cinematic to StarCraft.
I really like that. Now, here's the deal. There are plenty of, like, I feel like those PC, like, FMV games, there was probably a lot of them that had lots of cursing in them. That probably could have been the earliest ones.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Like, going back to the early 90s.
That actually, I'm going to do a little deep dive. And then by deep dive, I'm going to Google and see what the top results are. I'm going to find out by next episode. What was the first game to have it? And Jim, don't do any research. I'm not worried that you will. But
Right, I can guarantee you that I won't.
Because I want to do a little trivia, and I'll give you some trivia questions based on that.
All right, sounds like fun.
Yeah, no, I like it. And that actually wraps up our voicemails for this week. So,
yes, once again, the voicemail number, 267-991-0156. We don't show that enough, but we would love to hear from you guys. And,
Chambers, how did the probably at least 7-year-old beer or 6-year-old beer treat you?
Dude, I think it might have been a housewarming gift from when I moved into my old house. So, yeah, that's like a good 6 or 7-year-old beer right there. You know what? It was still really good. It definitely is a bourbon barrel. You can still taste it, but all the flavor profiles are very subdued after all this time. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you don't really like Rudolph, maybe it'll be good to age it to mellow it out a little bit, but yeah, I am feeling good from that 10.6% still. And the 25 ounces that are in here, like normally I'll like take a break and go grab a couple more beers and stuff. Didn't do that this time.
Okay. Yeah, the as questionable as is for a random ass Dunkel to be already 2+ years old, it still went down fine. Good job, Jim.
Yay!
Give yourself the Barry Horowitz. I think I said this last time I drank it, but I think this is my last can of it. I've never really had anything from Industrial Arts, but for a 2+ year old beer, I was impressed enough that if I see them again, I'm gonna give them a try. So I would suggest the same. But with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening, for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the notification bell, hit the subscription. It would mean the world to us. Leave comments below. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. And if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you give us a 5-star rating, we'll read each and every one of your comments on these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.